Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be Creed 3. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. So we have the next movie in the series of Creed, which is a spinoff of Rocky. There was a little, I don't want to say controversy regarding this movie, but with some friction because this is the first movie that Sylvester Stallone is not part of the movie since the beginning. So, it's a bittersweet with Sly not being part of the movie. So, Sylvester Stallone did an interview, basically said he didn't have a problem with Michael B. Jordan, and he was proud to see him carrying on the series. However, with the writers, he didn't care for them too much because they didn't write them in the script, or if it was like a real minimal role. Michael B. Jordan also, it's his first time directed in a film as well. So you had the regular cast. Let's just go over the cast. You had, of course, Adonis Creed as Michael B. Jordan, Tessa Thompson as Bianca Creed, Jonathan Majors plays as Damian Anderson, Wood Harris plays as Tony Little Duke Burton, and you have Felicia Rashad plays as Marianne Creed, and Mila Kent plays as Amara Creed. You have some cameo appearances with Terrence Crawford, the boxer, and Jose Benavidez, the boxer. He's a super middleweight boxer. He plays as Felix Chavez, which is Adonis Creed's fighter. So let's get into it. So the movie picks up in LA in 2002. A young Adonis Creed at the age of 15 and 18-year-old Damian Anderson. Now Damian is a neighborhood boxer who's on his way to the top, going to Golden Globes, and he's known for kicking tail. Adonis is his younger homie. They come from a group home, and Adonis is like his right hand man. He's Damian's right hand man. So what happens is Damian wins a fight. They're driving. They stop to a store to get some drinks. Adonis sees a man. We later find out his name is Henry, and he was like the group home resident father or whatever, guardian, and he used to beat on the kids. So Adonis seen him. He's 15 now, and just went off on him, start punching him, beating him down, and then it flashed to 15 years later, and then that would be 2017, and now it's in South Africa. Adonis, of course, he's older. He's fighting in South Africa, and this is now 2017. And he beats a fighter. He telegraphed. He was setting the fighter up for these open shots, for a kidney shot, and he ended up hitting him on the open shot and became the undisputed heavyweight champion. From there, fast forward to present day. So that went to 2023. So at this moment, 5 years from there, Adonis is like 35, somewhere around there. So you get to see that Adonis has one of his daughter, Tessa, well, Bianca Creed, she had a problem with her hearing, so she was going to be a star, but then she started going deaf on stage. So they had a child, and it came down to the child would be deaf. So now you're seeing their daughter Amara is a little older, and they're doing sign language throughout the film with the daughter. So one day at the gym, Adonis got the gym. His young fighter Felix is the champion now. He's trying to set him up with fights, but Felix is knocking out all his sparring partners. And Adonis trying to tell Felix, you need to listen to Duke. Now, Adonis goes outside, and this is what you see in the trailer. You see Damien sitting on his Rolls Royce, and he's looking at him like, "Yo, you got a problem?" We all seen the scene, and then he got to see it with Damien. So Damien started to walk off, just wanted to say, "Hey man, I want to let you know I'm out." And Adonis basically said, "You got time to get a meal?" They go get a meal. Damien, within the first conversations, already tell him that he want to get back to boxing and he want to be the champion of the world. So Adonis looking at him like that's unheard of, man. You pretty much you never went professional. How you just gonna get a title shot just like off the rip? He's pressing the issue. So it goes on from there. He pretty much tell him, listen, come to the gym and you get a workout. In the process of coming to the gym, getting a workout, he put him in there with Felix. And he start doing roughhousing with Felix. And it got a little physical. Duke already said it was going to be a bad idea because he know his temperament. He's not professional. So it got a little friction going on in the ring between Damien and Felix, and they pretty much spread him out. Adonis told him to go chill. Now Adonis did let Damien come to his house and meet his wife, his daughter, and they set out. Now you got Damien who's fresh out of jail. You letting him all around your new surroundings. You got money, and you getting a nice house and all this lavish living or whatever. So now I can critique it. Let's throw some critiquing in there. If you allowed him to come to your house and all that, you know he's just getting out of jail, and we assuming that he has money. You would think you would try to do something for him to get him on his feet or something like that. You don't let somebody that's pretty much scraping the bottom of the barrel, pitching for quarters, and you let them in your whole world and you ain't doing nothing to try to whatever. So that part kind of didn't. I mean, they trying to speed. I guess those little details don't, but I think they do matter because it, you know, it just didn't make sense. But that's just me critiquing the movie. They could have wrote that in better. They just speed in the process. So nevertheless, Bianca invites Damien to her artist's album release party. Now, you find out that Adonis Creed, the role played by Felicia Rashad, you find out that she's been having health issues and she's pretty much had a stroke and she's recovering in a sense. And they're trying to tell her take it easy. She like, I'm going to be okay. And pretty much she want to live her life the way she want to live. She tried to tell him to avoid, because Damien said he was writing Adonis while he was in jail. And Adonis was like, you did? He's like, yeah, I sent it to your mom out in Beverly Hills. And he was like, I never got it in it. The mom was keeping it the whole time. So nevertheless, it fast forwards to the party. Damien's acting like he's cool, but he see Felix is there. And what happens is Felix is supposed to schedule a big fight to fight Drago. And what happens is when he about to fight a big fight to fight Drago's, a fight breaks out and the Drago fighter gets injured. So now the fight is in limbo to not happen. So Adonis gets the idea to say, hold up, I can kill two birds in one stone. Damien's been pressuring me to get a title shot. He gonna go in there and get his behind kicked. Meanwhile, I still put on this event. So we all knew what this setup is. So what happens is when that happens, the fight breaks out. And when the fight breaks out, when the fight starts, the match starts, of course we know Damien beats Felix up, almost kills him. And it was flashbacking for Marion Creed for remember when Apollo got killed in the ring. So it was a flashback for her. So she turned the TV off. She went and grabbed this box that she had somewhere in her house. And now Damon got what he wanted. He became the champion. They rushed Felix off to the hospital. So Adonis went to go see his mom afterwards, and pretty much she showed him the letters that Damien sent, and he was like, "Why you never told me?" Because now he thinks I pretty much abandoned him. I forgot him, and she pretty much was like, "I'm trying to save you, because he doesn't mean well. He don't mean you no good, and I wasn't trying to have you go back down that road." So he kind of lashed out at her at a sense, and what happened from there, she showed him a picture, and then she walked off. In the picture was the same guy who injured Drago at that album release party. So he put two and two together in his head. Damon had this set up the whole time. So he went to go approach Damon at his party, after party of him winning the championship, and pretty much approached him, and Damon was pretty much telling him it's soft. Damon ended up punching him, and he stepped off and said, "Run, run like you always run." And from there, he got a call from his wife, and the wife was crying, pretty much said, "You gotta come." And the that was the next event that happened. Of course, the mom had passed away. Before she passed away, he got a chance to talk to her. So it was a heartfelt moment. He talking to his mom, and as she's having her last breath, and she had her last breath saying his name, and then it showed the funeral and everything. And the music, Rocky was legendary for like the music. It's so many songs that built it up. Now, now this is where I interject, and then I start to speak on to what film this reminds me of. It's a page right out of Rocky 3, where Rocky was fighting Clubber Lang. Clubber Lang was the main underdog. He was training all rough, so it showed Damian Anderson, his character. He was training, and he got everything to gain or whatever. So in Rocky, of course, he was showboating, doing, living the life. So they took a small page out of that book for that little storyline from Rocky 3, the Clubber Lang character. That's what Damien kind of reminds me of, with a different storyline, because he does tie into Adonis Creed's life from the backstory. But as character-wise, they kind of took a page out of Clubber Lang's character for that. Now, Adonis went on Stephen A's show for First Take and start talking about his boxing, and Dame called up to the Stephen A and on live TV, pretty much tell Adonis he a fraud, and talking about him, and basically said, "Little man, I hurt you." And of course Adonis said, well, he accepted the challenge, and now they go into training. And during the training, Rocky was legendary for the music, but they had the Rocky music played in the background, but it was slowed down where you would think it might have been something different, but it was slowed down where you could hear it, but it wasn't the actual upbeat that would those of you who Rocky fans, about that. Nevertheless, in the training, Drago comes to play the spar with Adonis so that he could be make him tough to fight Dane. Big match ends up. They battle. They make it all the way to the 12th round, and then before the 12th round, it was a sequence where it looked like it was just them two fighting, and nobody was in the arena, just taking shots at each other, and both of them looking on the stool, looking at one, looking at the other, seeing the kid version of each other. And so 12th round came. Dame caught Adonis would have punched him in the stomach. He dropped. He got up. Then he set Dame up, and he was telegraphing him. Seeing the opening from when he used to tell Dame when they were kids to watch out for. But Dame never evolved, so he still had them same habits. And of course, Adonis capitalized off the habit, knocked him out in the 12th round. and everybody was celebratory, and Dame just looked over and walked out the ring. So after in the ring, after the match, when everybody was celebrating that Adonis won, he walked out of his dressing room and walked where Dame was and had a talk. Pretty much told him, man, he apologized that he didn't reach out to him and he let him go, and it wasn't his fault. It wasn't on him on what happened. And so Dame pretty much said, hey man, it wasn't on you either. And so basically don't hold that weight on you. And Dame pretty much told him, hey man, you got your family waiting for you, champ. You know, go celebrate. And he stepped off and he pretty much looked at Dame, said, man, you know where to find me. He went back in the ring, celebrated with his daughter, and he was teaching his daughter how to fight, and his wife, Bianca. That was the end of the movie. No post-credit scene. What do I think about the movie? It's a bittersweet. Even though we all seen Rocky in all the films, all the Rockies, and Creed 1 and 2, right? But if this franchise is to carry on, I do understand that to not have Rocky in the film to overshadow the character of Adonis Creed. I think because it's a spinoff, I think the series could go on and be standalone on its own without Rocky's character. It's just bittersweet because we've seen Rocky's a part of this, but I don't know where you write Rocky back into this character, and we don't want to see a situation where you kill Rocky off. I mean, I guess they could have been did it, and Rocky could have died, but by you not having Rocky in at all, it always leads to hope that okay, one of these Creeds, Rocky's gonna come back. But then if he come back, I think Sly wants some more role, and if they do bring Sly back, I think it's to kill his character. I mean, for his not say kill his character, for his character to pass away. I think if they do bring him back, it's for his character to pass away like Mick did in Rocky 3. So I think if they did bring Rocky's character, it's for him to pass away. I'd rather not see that. I think the film right now could stand on its own. It's just bittersweet because Sylvester Stallone started all this, and then to have him not in it is kind of sounds like that's blasphemous, but I do see it can stand on its own without Rocky part of it. They just got to keep getting better with the writing, keep being creative with the storylines, and make it more interesting with the storylines. Get creative. They got to get creative with the storylines, and there's some storylines out there that they could go with to make it better. I don't know if we want to see Adonis keep fighting, but Rocky was kept fighting. So we already in Creed 3, and he's already retired. So so I don't know where we could go from here in a part 4. I guess a lot of it depends on how well this movie does in the box office. So out of my 4-star rating system, I'm going to give this movie a 2.5 out of 4 stars. It was decent enough to watch. You wouldn't be mad if you went to the theater to see it. Just the writing could have been a little better storyline. Other than that, Jonathan Majors, he did a good job. So did Michael B. Jordan. And subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.